Good morning and welcome. I have had somebody cancel their call, so I thought that I would hop on here and do a live. And my intuition has guided me to talk about the voice in our head. So I'm going to talk about you specifically. So, do you have a voice in your head? And I'm talking about a voice that I like to call the inner bitch that's always there and she never goes away, but you can use tools and skills to change your inner bitch into what I like to call your inner angel. So when I say to you, do you have a voice in your head? Was it easy for you to distinguish straight away what I meant, or did you have to think about it? And was your answer yes or no? Because sometimes this voice that's in our head is so prominent in there, it's almost like that's you. So that voice in your head that's always putting you down, always being a bitch to you, that is not actually you. That's just your past conditioning, your thought process that happens straight away whenever life happens to you. And you can change that because your thoughts are not the truth. Your thoughts are due to your past conditioning, what beliefs you hold, etc. And the problem with focusing on that negative voice in our head, it brings more negativity into our lives and it makes us feel like shit, if I'm being honest. So I want to share with you today how to change that inner bitch voice so the inner angel voice that's also in your head somewhere can speak to you more often. So let's talk about this inner bitch voice then. So you know the voice that says things like, oh my gosh, look at your tummy, it's just disgusting. Or why would anyone want to hear what you've got to say on social media? Or you cannot wear those shorts because your legs are way too big. I mean, I'm sure you know the voice, right? Don't bother going to that job interview. There's going to be so many more people more qualified than you. Don't bother. You know the one. If you know the one, please comment as you're watching this if you know which voice I'm talking about. And my next question to you is, do you listen to that voice, that inner bitch voice? And if you listen to her, do you believe what she's saying to you? Do you believe what she's saying to you? And the next question, because you know I love questions, does that voice remind you of anybody? So does it remind you of maybe a teacher or one of your parents? So just have a think about that for a moment. If you see if you can notice if that voice comes from anyone in particular from your past. And talking about the inner bitch voice, did you know that you have a completely opposite voice in that beautiful head of yours? I like to call it the inner angel voice. That's the voice of compassion. That's the voice that speaks so kindly and so full of love to your best friend, to your children, to your mum. That voice is kind, it's considerate, it's loving, it's encouraging. And my question to you now is, how often does that voice speak to you directly? Because I used to have my inner bitch voice operating in my brain, running the show, running my life at 80%. And then 20% was my inner angel voice towards myself. I'm just going to read some comments. Good morning, Claire on Facebook. How are you doing, beautiful? I used to, but I try my best not to listen to it. It can be hard to switch it off. I didn't know I had another voice. So yes, Claire, you have this angel voice. So imagine that your brain is split into two parts, right? And you've got half of it as your inner bitch and half of it as your inner angel. How do you operate more with your inner angel compared to your inner bitch? And the answer is, feed your angel voice and starve your inner bitch. There's an old tale to do with wolves, like you've got two wolves on your shoulder, and you've got one that's like the devil voice and one that's like the angel wolf, and then which one survives, whichever you feed the most. So when I say feed, I mean pay attention to. So every time your inner bitch pops up in your head, I want you to do the following. So number one is notice. Notice that your inner bitch is talking. Number 2, acknowledge her and say thank you, because actually all she's trying to do is protect you. So underneath the bitchiness, if you peel back the layers, she's just trying to protect you from something, but actually she's keeping you small instead. So it's not helpful. So number 3 is to get honest with yourself and ask yourself, what am I gaining from listening to this inner bitch voice? For example, if I listen to my inner bitch telling me not to go on a date because I don't look good enough or whatever it may be, I'm gaining something from that. I'm gaining staying home in my comfort zone and not putting myself out there for fear of rejection. If I listen to my inner bitch voice telling me not to apply for that job interview, again, I'm gaining from that. I get to stay in my comfort zone and not risk being told no, that I didn't get the job, you see. So ask yourself, what am I gaining from listening to this inner bitch voice? The next thing to ask yourself is, what am I losing if I listen to my inner bitch? So what am I gaining? And then now what am I losing? So using those 2 examples I've just given you with regards to what you are gaining, I am losing the opportunity, the date opportunity. So if my inner bitch is telling me, don't go on the date, you don't look good enough, he's not going to like you, blah, 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 blah. If I don't go, I'm going to miss out on an opportunity to meet somebody new. And I'm going to miss out on the opportunity to get myself out of my comfort zone and go and do the thing. So I'm missing out on personal growth. If I listen to my inner bitch voice telling me, don't go to the job interview because you're not qualified enough, there's going to be loads of people better than you, I'm going to miss out, because in the future I'm going to still be bored in my current job. I'm always going to be wondering what if, and again I'm missing out on personal growth because I'm not going to put myself out there. So number 5 is to ask yourself this powerful question: do you want what your inner bitch has in store for you? So do you choose to stay small, to stay in your comfort zone, or do you choose personal growth instead? And that's up to you. You know, that choice is fully 100% always yours. And there's no right or wrong answer. It's what you choose in the moment. But if you choose to not listen to your inner bitch voice because you've decided that she's too negative, she's running too much of your life and you're just fed up with her, then do the next thing. Don't pay attention. So listen to her, hear her, say thank you for being here, but I choose not to listen to you. And then pay attention, go and find that angel voice in your head somewhere. I like to recommend my clients, if they really struggle to find their own voice of compassion, especially directing it to themselves, they find that very difficult to begin with, then imagine you've got a Victoria box in your head, and here I am, Miss Positivity and full of love for every single human being and for myself. Go and find that Victoria box, or label it someone who speaks to you so kindly and supportively, and go and find that box in your head. Open the box. Thank you for the hearts. Open the box and let that voice talk to you. Because when we try and fight our inner bitch voice, when we're like, oh my gosh, here she is again, like, go away, I don't want to listen to you, it's a different energy and you're resisting that. And of course, we all know whatever you resist persists in life. So if you just welcome your inner bitch, hi, I knew you'd be here, thank you for protecting me, but I choose not to listen to you, thank you. Don't just push her away, don't get angry, just turn your attention instead to your angel voice, that voice of compassion, or your Victoria box that I've now installed in your head. There you go. You have your own Victoria box in your head. The voice of compassion, the voice of love. And so when you've chosen to find that inner compassion voice, listen to what she has to say to you. And this next bit is really crucial. If you're having a bad thought, a negative thought, that's not serving you, you've chosen that you don't want to listen to it anymore, pay attention to your angel voice and focus on whatever your angel voice is saying to you for at least 17 seconds. Because this is where the law of attraction comes into play. If you focus on a thought for 17 seconds, it will, through the law of attraction, attract another thought that's similar to the thought you were just thinking. So we can also use this opposite to positivity. So when you think negative things and then all of a sudden your brain's like just going on this negative spiral, like you first think, oh, that might happen and that's like bad, and then you'll attach all these other dreading thoughts to that original thought. That's because whatever thought you think about for more than 17 seconds, it attracts another like-minded thought, because thoughts are like magnets. So when you've got that angel voice, when you found her, listen to what she has to say and focus on that voice of compassion. And again, if you struggle, imagine that whatever situation you're in with this negative thought, imagine that you are someone who you love very much. And then it's easier to give that compassion to yourself if you imagine that you are someone that you love. Because again, we're so easily to give compassion and love to other people, but we really struggle for ourselves. So that's a really helpful tip too. And I'm going to give you a real life example to what I dealt with when I first started my journey of self-love and self-acceptance. And I'm going to break down my thought process. So I would look in the mirror. It was summer, which is far from what it is now. It's freezing, but I love it because it's so frosty and I love these cold mornings. So back in last summer, I would look in the mirror and I'd have shorts on, and my inner bitch would pop up and she would say, you can't wear those shorts because your legs are too fat and you've got cellulite everywhere. Well, first of all, as me chipping into this thought now as who I stand in today, too fat for who? Like, who decides? I mean, first of all, fat is a descriptive word. It's not even a negative thing. Culture has taught us to see fat as negative. So too fat for who? Exactly. And what's wrong with cellulite? Again, it's what we've been taught. So I just wanted to add that into my old thought process there. So standing in the mirror, got shorts on, your legs are too fat, you can't wear those shorts. And then I go and find my angel voice. I'm like, okay, wait, the inner bitch, there she is. Thank you for trying to protect me. I'm going to go and find my angel voice. So along comes my angel voice, and she says to me, thank you for trying to protect me from all the possible judgments from other people about my cellulite. However, I choose, because everything is a choice, take back your power. I choose not to waste my life worrying what people think about me. So that's one thought. If I focus on that for 17 seconds, the next thought will come. These are my legs. I can't magically change them in this moment. I choose to accept them, and it's hot outside. I want to wear the shorts. Thank you for the hearts. And the next thought that comes from that, again, if I'm focusing on that thought for 17 seconds, the next thought, my legs are actually fine. They're part of who I am. They enable me to run, to walk, to literally just get around wherever I want to go. They're always there for me. And then the next thought that will come from that, I'm not valued by my body. As much as we've been taught that in our society, I choose not to put my self-worth in my body. I'm worthy of love no matter what my legs look like, and I can't, and when I say can't, I emphasize the word can't, and won't diet in an attempt to have society acceptable legs. And then the action and my behavior from that little conversation I've had in my head where I've listened to my angel voice is that I wear the goddamn shorts and I enjoy my day in the shorts, and guess what? Nothing bad happened. No one said anything. They may have judged me in their head. They probably would have done, but I don't care, because I choose not to waste my life worried what other people are going to think of me. So just ask yourself that, like, how much time and attention and energy do you put into worrying and wondering what other people think of you? Because we spend so much of our lives worrying what we think we look like, but everybody else is doing the same thing. So when we think people are worried about what we look like, they're worrying about what they look like. And that when I like heard that and it landed with me, I was like, that is so true. But let me know if this has helped. So I'm just going to go through the steps in brief bullet point order. So inner bitch versus inner angel. You have two voices in your head, inner bitch, inner angel, right? When you notice your inner bitch, what do you decide? Do you choose to listen to her? Do you want the positive outcomes from listening to your inner bitch? Or do you want to choose personal growth? And do you want to choose compassion? Because, like Steph has just said, everything is a choice. Yeah, 17 seconds, Steph. It's the law of attraction. If you focus on a thought for 17 seconds or more, it will attract another like-minded thought. So just have that. Even set an alarm on your phone, like a little timer, and then go through this thought model process because it will really help. So if you've chosen, okay, no, inner bitch is here, don't want to listen, find that angel voice in your head, find that Victoria box, that voice of compassion, go and open it. Let her say something to you, even if it's neutral, even if you're standing in the mirror and you're like, oh God, I just hate my body, like I just can't accept it, like what am I gonna do? If your angel voice popped up and said, you're beautiful exactly as you are, and you don't believe that voice, that's not going to be very helpful. So start with something neutral. Like I used to say at the very beginning of my journey a couple of years ago, I have a body, because that's a fact. I believe that, and it's neutral. So I've gone from I look disgusting, I can't look in the mirror, it fighting, to I have a body. And then the next thought after I have a body could be something like, I have a body that's actually healthy, and not everybody has that. And I'd feel that thought for 17 seconds. Then the next thing, I'm actually really grateful for my body for what she can do, even though I don't like the look of her right now because of all my cultural beliefs. I really appreciate her, etc. And then that's gone, even in just those three thought process, that's gone from hating my body to actually I really appreciate my body, even though I don't like it right now. So can you see how powerful it can be? So when you've chose that angel voice, let these magnetic thoughts attract another positive thought, another positive thought. And the biggest thing out of all of this is go and do the thing that your inner bitch was telling you not to do. Whether it will be go live on social media, which by the way, when I first started going live, I used to get sweaty hands, like I didn't know what I was going to say. And sometimes I still don't know what I'm going to say. And I say the wrong words. And you know what? That's okay because I'm human. And the reason for me doing this is to share this with you guys so you can have a better life experience, so you can learn how to love yourself because you're so freaking awesome, all of you, each and every one of you. If your inner bitch is telling you not to have that conversation with your other half, that's going to be really uncomfortable. Do the thing that you're scared of doing, because when you do that, when you lean into your fear, oh my gosh, magic happens. Like you grow as a person, your comfort zone gets bigger, which enables you to do more scary things. And then before you know it, you look back on how far you've come. And just because you felt the fear and done it anyway, you'll be amazed. One more example before I end this today. I help clients a lot with food disorders. So for example, two examples. One, if you're a severe food restrictor, bordering on anorexia, you'll have that voice in your head, like I like to call ED, which stands for eating disorder. If ED is saying to you, don't eat that, like all of these bad things are going to happen if you eat this, or whatever the food may be for you, that fear of eating the thing, the only way you're going to get over that fear is to eat it and do the thing that you're scared of. And then if Ed says to you, make yourself sick, you've ate the thing, feeling the urge to do the thing, but then not doing it, doing the opposite to what you really want to do, if your fear is speaking to you, that's when healing happens. The other way, if you're a binge eater, and I've been anorexic and a severe binge eater, so I've been on both ends of the spectrum, so I know personally how it feels. If you're a binge eater and your binge eating voice is like, oh my gosh, you're so disgusting, how shameful should you be because you've ate all this food in one go, like you need to go on a diet tomorrow, you need to start the gym tomorrow, like no. Do the opposite to whatever that fear voice is telling you to do. Don't go on a diet, because you know what? The diet is what ignites the binge to happen again. So do the opposite of whatever your fear is telling you to do. And that's when personal growth happens. And if you need support with any of that, come to me. I'm so willing to help all of you. And I'm so pleased I also decided to do this at this time because there's quite a lot of people up early. So I wish you all an amazing Thursday. And if you need anything, please just message me. I'm here for all of you. Okay. Mwah. See you soon.